best friend got pregnant by my fiancé. You ever have one of those moments where everything in your body just goes still? Like your brain registers the words, but your heart refuses to catch up. Yeah, that was me. Standing in my kitchen, holding my phone, while my best friend of 12 years looked me in the eye and said, "I'm pregnant and it's his. My name is Lena. I'm 29, live in Ohio, and I thought I was going to marry the love of my life. I really did. I met Jordan when I was 24. He was charming, funny, had that quiet confidence that made people naturally gravitate toward him. We met at a bar, of all places, when I was out celebrating a friend's birthday. He bought me a drink, we talked for hours, and by the end of the night I was hooked. We started dating, and everything just felt easy with him, comfortable, like I didn't have to try so hard to be enough, you know. After a couple of years, we moved in together, got a dog, started talking about marriage, and when he proposed on a weekend trip to Asheville, I cried, not because I was surprised, but because I knew it was right. Or at least I thought it was. And then there's Morgan. She was my ride or die, my girl since high school. We survived bad haircuts, cheating exes, toxic college roommates, everything. She was the person I'd call when I needed to scream, cry, or laugh so hard I couldn't breathe. She knew all my secrets and I knew hers, or so I thought. Morgan and Jordan got along great too. I mean, why wouldn't they? She was funny, outgoing, knew how to make people feel at ease. She used to joke that Jordan was too hot to be straight, and we'd laugh about how lucky I was. There were never any weird vibes, nothing suspicious. At least not that I noticed. But then things started to shift. I couldn't even tell you exactly when, but maybe 6 months before the truth came out, I started feeling off. Jordan got distant. He'd be glued to his phone, smiling at messages he wouldn't show me. When I'd ask what was so funny, he'd just say, "Oh, it's just the guys from work." Morgan started acting weird too, flaky. She'd cancel plans last minute, avoid eye contact when we were together, and she stopped staying over after girls' nights like she used to. I asked her once jokingly, "What's going on with you? You pregnant or something?" She laughed, but it was that tight, forced laugh. Looking back, yeah, that laugh should have told me everything. And then came that day. I was making dinner, just a regular Tuesday night. Jordan wasn't home yet, said he had to stay late. I invited Morgan over to hang out, thinking we could catch up like old times. She looked pale, nervous. I thought she was sick. And then, she sat down at the kitchen island, looked at me like she was about to deliver a eulogy and said, "Lena, I have to tell you something. Please don't hate me." My stomach dropped, and then the words came out. "I'm pregnant and it's Jordan's." I froze, like actually froze. I don't think I blinked. I couldn't breathe. My ears started ringing and my chest felt like it was collapsing in on itself. I just kept staring at her, waiting for the punchline, waiting for her to laugh and go, "Just kidding." But she didn't. She just sat there, tears in her eyes, hands on her stomach. I whispered, "No, you're lying. Tell me you're lying." She shook her head, whispered back, "I'm so sorry." And I lost it. I didn't even know what I was saying. I screamed. I cried. I begged her to tell me it wasn't true. She tried to explain, said it started at a party months ago. One night when she and Jordan were both drunk and I had gone out of town to visit my mom. She said it wasn't planned, that it was just supposed to be a mistake. But then it happened again, and they didn't stop. They'd been sneaking around behind my back for months, and now she was pregnant with his child. I asked her, "Why are you telling me now?" She looked down and said, "Because I can't hide it much longer. And I couldn't lie to you anymore. Lie to me anymore." Like she hadn't been lying to my face for half a year. She left that night. I told her to get out and never come back. She cried, begged me to understand, said she didn't mean for this to happen. But it did. It did happen. And Jordan, I didn't even call him. I packed a bag, grabbed the dog, and went straight to my sister's place. I couldn't even be in that apartment. Our apartment, every corner of it felt dirty, contaminated. He came home to an empty place and about 30 missed calls. I didn't pick up. He showed up at my sister's the next morning like nothing was wrong, like he deserved a conversation. I stood at the door while he gave me some pathetic speech about how it didn't mean anything, and he still wanted to marry me. Marry me. After getting my best friend pregnant, I asked him one question, "Did you love her?" And he didn't say no, he just stayed quiet. And that was my answer. That silence was louder than any confession. I closed the door. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just closed it. And in that moment, something inside me flipped like a switch. I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I wasn't confused. I was just done. Over the next week, I shut everything down. I called off the engagement, returned the ring to his mother, who, by the way, had the nerve to ask if I could find it in my heart to forgive him. I blocked him, blocked Morgan, and told mutual friends I didn't want updates. I didn't want explanations. If they were still in contact with either of them, I didn't want to be in contact with them. I didn't burn his clothes or trash his car like some dramatic movie scene. I didn't even send a long, angry message. I just disappeared from their lives. Because honestly, that was the deepest cut I could offer, but the universe wasn't done. About 2 months later, I got a message from an unknown number. It was Morgan. She said she was sorry again, that she missed me, that she wished she could go back in time, that Jordan had ghosted her after finding out the baby was a girl. Yeah, a girl. Apparently, mister, I still want to marry you. Dipped the moment he realized fatherhood wasn't going to be some Instagram dad fantasy. He stopped replying, blocked her, and even told his job he was dealing with personal issues, so he could leave the city and move in with a cousin across the country. Left her alone, pregnant, broke, and betrayed. Sound familiar? She said she had no one now, that she didn't expect me to forgive her but she just needed someone to talk to, that she regretted everything. And for a second, just 1 second, I felt something. Not pity, not compassion, just the ghost of that girl who used to be my best friend, the one I shared my childhood with, the one who cried with me when my dad passed, the one who helped me pick out my wedding dress. But then I remembered what she did, and I remembered that she never came clean out of guilt. She only told me because the truth was going to show anyway, so I blocked the number. No explanation, no parting words. I don't hate her. I don't even hate him. You can only hate people who still have space in your heart. They don't. Now, I live in a different apartment, in a different part of the city. I've got a new job, new friends, a rescue cat named Olive who follows me around like a shadow. Some days are still hard. I won't lie. Trust is a tricky thing once it's shattered like that. Sometimes I meet someone new and that voice in my head starts whispering, what if it happens again? But I'm working on it. I go to therapy, I journal, I cook a lot, and I breathe. I breathe like someone who has no more secrets being kept from her, no more knives waiting in her back. No more fake smiles from people planning their next betrayal. I used to think love was the glue that held everything together. Now I think it's honesty. And if you don't have that, you have nothing. I don't know what happened to Morgan. I haven't checked. I don't want to know. But I do know this. No matter how close you are, no matter how long you've been friends, no matter how much you trust someone, pay attention to what they do when you're not in the room. Because the people who smile in your face and sleep with your fiancé when your back is turned, they were never your friends. And the ones who cheat, lie, and still want to play the victim, they were never your future. They were your lesson. And I've learned mine. If you felt this story, even just a little, hit that like button and subscribe for more real, raw, and honest stories like this. Because sometimes the truth hurts, but it's the only way we heal. I'll see you in the next one.